there, and welcome back to a little grimoire by daylight. So this, I believe, is our last vote for the grimoire chapter of the big 2026, and we have until May 11th for this voting period. And in this one, we're gonna vote for. So what one was this, obviously. Now we have this more yellow concept. Very backlit, very glowy. Yes. Then we have this more blue one. Now, immediately what I'm noticing is that we have lost some more of the detail from like the stained glass in the background. Let's look. There's more faces. This is more like the ethereal realm, so I think they kind of like got rid of it. These floating heads are very curious to me. Very curious. I feel like that's a new detail, one that we have not previously seen before. I'm gonna be honest, I like the blue theme more, and I think it's mostly because I just like these colors better, if I'm going to be real with you. Just for that reason, but that's just the colored key art. Now we have the music, which I'm curious about. We have music A, divine resonance that creeps like a growing shadow. So first thoughts, I feel like I like the vibe. It feels intense, but in a way that isn't so like I feel like it fits so far. I like it. And I like, I'm always gonna love a chorus of voices. Ugh! Especially you're like, ooh, right? More of that kind of operatic choir. Like, I don't know music theory or music enough to really give a good description. But I do like that kind of like human vocal, like, ooh. I'm kind of doing the first parts of the Dies Irae because that's just gonna be a lot of them is the Dies Irae. I like it. Let's hear C. Music C, a surge of cosmic horror getting closer and closer. Oh. Very intense sounding. I don't know if death whistle is quite the word I want to use, but I'm very torn between B and C. I want to know how the beat drops. I so far I really like B and C. I might have to go with C, but like I would be very happy with B or C if I'm being 100% real. I think this is it. Yeah, a quick short little grimoire.
Here we're seeing our concept for the artifact. So the artifact
I love the
artifact.
The floating things that I've mentioned about
I don't want to talk
art.
too much about where that artifact comes from. I can just
That's
give a glimpse that it's connected in some way
cool.
to Aurora.
I love the joy, the
So
little
the
pookie.
survivor will find that item and will essentially use it.
That's so
to
cool. I
absorb,
love it. That'd be
the
so
other
fun
release,
to make for
that's
like
very
a
exciting.
cosplay
And we
thing.
give them just enough, to look forward to.
Exactly. And now
Me
we can
immediately
look a
like,
little bit more into
ooh,
detail
an
as what we
accessory.
internally call the crystals. So these here, we call them
Yes.
crystals because they were the collectible that we were essentially
like it.
gathering with the artifact inside Hopeless Exile. In reality, they're not really crystals.
Yes.
We will redefine them while we are advancing on the production.
I like
but
it.
what we're doing here is to showcase that these entities are essentially living creature inside Hopeless Exile, stuck inside these
I like it.
statues and divine
Like
elements and crystal analogy to something that's related a little bit more with the story of the judgment
I like
and
it.
its environment.
I think it's really interesting,
I feel so
to see the
validated
process
for
of
choosing
taking all of these
the
votes
key art
and
that I
building
chose.
only the visual, but how it ties back to the narrative. That
Absolutely.
we haven't revealed, everything just yet,
Yes.
but it's just like the depth, it gets more and more developed over time. It's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I
there are
really
a lot of
love that
people
it starts
excited
with
about
the
the
blood
bit
and
that
then
are
it
coming out,
it
and then after
evolves
the blue
into
will essentially
the
descend into that
soul
crack.
on the
Effect that we
wand.
have, for
That
the
takes
judgment
up so
because
much
I think
room.
there's about 21 different
Okay.
elements to get this pillar to work. And I would
Okay,
just like
but
to say,
like,
disclaimer,
do you
this is
see
not
how
final. This is very, very early.
that
But I've
takes
been
up
working very
so
hard
much
to get a
space
first pass in to show
on the
everyone. And
screen?
the
No.
program I'm working with, Daniel, has also been helping me get this pillar to work.
Like, am
There's
I
a lot
wrong?
of
Like,
different
that looks
states that the pillar has to be
huge.
in, where it's controlling. Is it
The
canceling,
wand looks
controlling? Is it flung?
like too
And we still
much.
have to tackle the
Like, look at
empowered state.
that.
But it's coming along. You might notice that like it looks a little different than most of the VFX in DVD, and that's because we had to kind of approach this effect to make sure that
Damn.
we
I
fit all the technical
seriously
constraints.
think
we
people
worked
didn't think this
early on with
through.
the
Oh
rendering
my
team
god.
to
And I'm
figure
not
out the best
talking
way to
about
approach
like
how to have a
I'm not even talking about like look how much like a survivor healing like two survivors healing somebody could be covered by that. Like that looks huge. I feel like that's a problem. And then my issue might be like we could have had something else is literally about the vote. We could have had the chain thing, which I know it would look like Plague's weapon, but at the same time, we have so many knife killers. Like it wouldn't have
giant,
been
like,
so bad.
technically translucent object that's going to be covering the screen. So we wanted to make sure we could make it look good and also not drop performance for the players and pitch out and be able to like not miss the
Performance is a
pillar when it
huge
flies by
thing.
you. But so I
Yeah,
feel
and
like the
everybody has
style
a
is a
nice
bit stylized
computer.
for
Yay!
Really cool. I
I
gotta
think
say.
it looks good.
It looks amazing.
Like it looks like it. I feel like it should look.
right
I like
to
that.
kind of fit shape, communication, and color. So this is the sin on the survivor so far.
It does feel like it.
It's supposed to represent the
Be a
exile.
bit
I tried my
weird.
best to be able to represent all three colors of it. I think it's coming through, but it's
Yeah.
kind of intended to feel like you're losing your mind a little bit, like there's chaos happening and you're confused. So I designed the material for the effect to kind of spin around, so it kind of made these spikes go really chaotic, and we also have like really
without it
random,
being
like sign calculation.
Well, I shouldn't speak
on
on
the
this
scale of
because
the particle.
I don't have epilepsy, but I am prone to migraines, and I feel like that's an okay effect. Like once again, I don't know. It might not be the best for everybody, but I will say it's better than a lot of the visual snow effects that I've seen in terms of it being a bother.
So it's constantly shaking and scaling up. So I'm hoping that the intention that Jay was trying to get is going to come across with the VFX, but so far it's pretty strong. And given that we have the new changes,
I feel like
so it will decay over time. I'll be iterating on it still.
It is
but,
a little
it's a pretty
bit
good base so far.
spiky. Like it's almost like
It
too
looks
big.
amazing. I also think it's really interesting to see,
I would say it
Jay
needs to
talked
be
a little bit about,
lowered
the art direction and,
by
the
25%, and
how
it'll
we
be
get
just
to those
perfect.
visuals, and
But
how
I do
we
feel like on Coldwood Farms, just because of how yellow the map is, it's not going to really show off, which is why Coldwood Farms just needs a lighting rework, period.
how we get to that idea
But
based on all the votes we've had and also based
there's
on
that.
the conversations we have internally.
I think it looks good
Seeing how you're bringing
overall.
this to life through visual effects.
Overall
is also really
vibes,
interesting. And
yes.
it's something
most optimal way to do it without having to.
I like the flooring.
And these are the hazards.
I like that
so
it looks
I only
ruined.
put these in, I think, 2 days ago, so they're very early. But yeah, these are what you're going to be dodging when you're in the exile.
I feel the concept.
Suffering victim faces is going to be something that we'll have to iterate on. It's definitely not going to be easy to do, and we've already been coming up with possible ideas to make it more obvious, but they are starting to look really cool, and
I feel like the beginning little splatter maybe should have more of the outside circumference still there. I like just because I know with ping being such a problem with this game, that it'll be good to know where you want to be out already, because that animation is really quick. So I think on that initial phase, you need to see the full size of the hitbox of those pillars.
fantastic.
That looks cool though. I do like it.
We see the eye level chapter presentation.
That's an
which is
interesting
like just a big
concept
presentation
art.
of all the things that we are going to work on this chapter.
Not an iteration
with
we
the
saw, but I kind of
survivor,
like the middle
what are they
eyeball,
about? Where are they
the
from?
midsection.
What's like
This one's
all
an
those themes
interesting piece.
surrounding the killer, which were very interesting. And there was dark side
Cloudy.
and light side,
Yeah.
which was very interesting as well because you don't know yet, like, oh, we're going dark or
There's the
are we going
wand.
light? And as you can see on the left, we were really inspired by old
Stag.
Baroque painting, Tenebrism, and stuff like that, angels, something we didn't see before.
Oh, this one's also really cool. So the options was this one, that one, and that one. I think this is the one that I ended up choosing. Like, your eyes just drawn to that. That one's also really fun. But I feel like you just lose a lot of detail with that one. And then these two are pretty similar, which is kind of the hint that they're leaning towards this kind of theme as well. Like these three are really similar. I think it'd be fun if this one had more of the stained glass lighting effect showing through.
And there's no
But
question about it. But
I still think the staff was a bad choice. Rah!
Very excited to see. And
But it
it's
is
really
what it
interesting to
is.
see too. So
Well,
very excited for
that
us to,
is it
to
for the dev. Little streamy weemy. That way you know a little bit more about what's going on. Yeah. But go vote. You have it until May 11th, 2026. But until then, we will see you in, whoa, what is this? A video just for you? Well, why don't you check it out? But in the meantime, I'm so glad you're here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.